All right, everyone, let's give Maysen a big round of applause.
So what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of cheerleading? Well, most people have said that cheerleading is not a sport, and that all it is girls wearing short tops and short skirts on the sidelines cheering for an actual sport. Well, I've heard these stereotypes from all my 10 years of cheerleading, and I kind of let them go one ear, not the other, because I still love cheerleading no matter what anyone says. But the only thing is that I wish that people would actually understand the stereotypes, and if they were put in my shoes and were actually a cheerleader for one day, they would understand that those stereotypes are wrong. So today I brought in a cheer bow. I have 6 up here, and that's just from 1 year of cheer. Each represents something different. So first I'm going to tell you how the bow represents the cheerleader as a whole. Second, I'm going to tell you how the bow represents strength, confidence, and leadership. And lastly, I'm going to tell you how I identify with the cheerleading culture. So as small as the bow is, most people often overlook it because it is just in your hair. It's not supposed to be big and distracting, but it is supposed to go along with the uniform. Like I was saying, that the bow is part of the uniform, and the uniform is worn by the cheerleader. But there's many different bows that you can wear with your uniform. Uniforms are more expensive to change, so most of the time we don't change the uniform, we just change the bow. I actually wore all of these different kinds of bow. We do like breast cancer ones where we wear it all for the month of October, and then we just have ones that we wear at a normal game or basis. But each bow contains the mascot. So I was a Wildcat, so we just did like leopard, and then I was also blue and gold. So that was the reason why we always had different bows. So it includes the colors, the mascots, anything, of course, rhinestones and sparkles because we are cheerleaders. So I just told you how the bow represents a cheerleader as a whole, but I also know that from cheerleading, there's 2 different concepts of cheerleading which people don't understand. There's the high school part where you're cheering on the sidelines and you practice but not as intense as competitive cheerleading. Competitive cheerleading, you have a 2-minute and 30-second routine, and you compete and you travel all over, and it's way more intense, and you're in the gym for like 20 hours a week. And I did both of it, but the common factor was that we all have a uniform and we all have a bow that goes with it. So now I'm going to tell you how being a cheerleader has more responsibilities than just cheering on the sidelines. I'm going to tell you how the bow represents leadership, confidence, and strength. Well, first, it comes off with confidence because you are cheering in front of a large crowd. You're cheering in front of grandstands, or you're cheering at a rally, or you're putting on a performance at halftime. There's always going to be people watching you, and it comes with a lot of confidence. Second is that it takes a lot of leadership in general because you are a cheerleader. It's in the name, cheerleader. To lead the crowd, to want you to be involved with the crowd. You want them to be spirited. You want them to yell your colors, so it takes a lot of spirit as that. And then it also takes strength because you are holding girls that are your weight above your head and making them twist, and you have to catch them, and it takes a lot of strength to do that. Also, for tumbling and flipping that you can do, okay? It takes a lot of strength to do that. It's not just easy peasy. So now if someone told me that I would be a cheerleader, I probably would have just laughed because I never thought I would be a cheerleader. I was a gymnast for 8 years before I actually went into cheerleading. And so now I'm going to tell you how I identify with the cheerleading culture. So I started competitive cheerleading when I was 10 years old, and then when I went into high school, I decided that I was going to pursue it in high school as well, so I did competitive cheer and high school cheer. It was a lot of work. I was always busy, but I loved being involved with my school, and I loved competing on the weekends. Over summer, my job is literally cheer camp. I'm an instructor that goes around teaching the fundamentals of cheerleading to high school students. And I'm literally just teaching them the safety and precautions and teaching them the new skills that they need, because cheerleading is a lot more dangerous than people think, and we are like rated number 2, I think, for the most dangerous sport because people just don't have a good concept of what is going on. So I just told you how I identify with cheerleading. So in conclusion, every time that I put a bow in my hair, I feel self-gratitude and happiness knowing that I represent more than just me being a cheerleader, but being a part of something, because I've always wanted to be feeling a part of something. So first, I told you how the bow represents the cheerleader as a whole. Second, I told you how the bow shows leadership, strength, and confidence. And lastly, I told you how I identify with the cheer culture. So I hope that maybe some of your stereotypes will change in the future about cheerleading, because it is a lot harder and more self-driven than people understand, and that the smallest piece, like the bow, could actually mean a lot to the bigger picture. So thank you.